Good morning, everyone. It's good to see you. It's almost like we have a full house here this morning. It's good to see everyone. Call the meeting to order for May 19th. Send regrets from our CEO, Ms. McEachran, and sitting in her place today is Ms. Alex Redden there. So can I call for approval of the agenda? Motion to approve the agenda? It's approved by Councillor Donovan. Can I get I am going to ask for a change in it when we get a seconder there. Second by Councillor Hennick. I would like to take off this agenda because no decisions have been made. I would like the grant recommendations to be sent back to the committee for further discussions. Is everybody okay with that? So since we have a motion to move and second, all in favor? It's moved. So let the records reflect that it's going to be stricken from the agenda and moved. So first we have on here is a large presentation from Josephine McEachran there. Hi, how are you? Come forward, please. Just going to let you know what to do. Your mic, if you push it and the little green button, please make sure that's on when you're speaking. You have 20 minutes for your presentation and questions, and we'll start right here, and the councillors will introduce themselves while you're setting up. Go ahead.
Good morning, Donna Matheson LaFord, District 1. I actually border Inverness County on two different parts of my district. So good morning, welcome.
Thank you so much. Is this, everybody can hear me? Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Perla McLeod, Councillor District 2, Big Bedek, Nyanza, Middle River, close to the bridge of Wamakog, Yankee Line, and Deputy Warren. Welcome again.
Thank you, nice to see you.
Let's see.
Good morning. My name is Fraser Patterson. I'm the councillor for District 5, which is the other side of Kelly's Mountain, basically.
Okay, good to know.
Good morning, welcome. My name is Rosella Bourne and I'm in District 4, so that would be Englishtown, South Haven, St. Anne's, all the way up to Smoky. Welcome.
Great.
Morning, Tim Donovan, District 6. That is from the top of Smoky to Northern Ganesh.
Thank you.
Good morning, welcome. I'm Wanda Hennick. I'm District 8 Councillor. That's Dingwall, Cape North, Sugarloaf, Bay St. Lawrence, and Capstick. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Jackie Organ, and I am the councillor for District 7, which is from North Ingonish down to Dingwall. And also I'm the interim councillor for the village of Bedek, since we're having an election soon for them. And I'm also the warden. So good morning. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much for welcoming me. Everyone has a copy of our brief, I'm sure, and we'll just, yeah. Just this way, yeah. Okay, great. Great. So, as Jackie, our warden, mentioned, my name is Josephine McEachran, and I've been with L'Arche Cape Breton since 2003. I was development coordinator there until 2022 when I retired, but then I came back to do some volunteer work and to do some casual. And I also have a son who lives at L'Arche Cape Breton. His name is Jonathan. He comes to Bedek a lot, loves Tim Hortons. So the reason I'm here is to make council aware of a project that we've been working on at L'Arche Cape Breton since, well over a year, close to 2 years. And it all stemmed from something called the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy that happened at the Disability Rights Coalition of Nova Scotia, took the province to court because they felt that people with intellectual disabilities and disabilities were not being treated fairly. So the province, the Disability Rights Coalition of Nova Scotia, their plea was heard. I guess they won, or their opinion was accepted, and then from there, the province hired 2 experts who wrote a huge brief on how to how to proceed with what's called the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy. So that after that happened, L'Arche was really motivated then, because we've always believed that people with intellectual disabilities, they deserve autonomy, they deserve a right to choose where they live, to stay close to family if they so choose to have the freedom to work and to the freedom to choose friends and to choose what church they go to. And they just didn't have that if they had to be placed in a far away from home, or in an institution and live with a large amount of people. So we want to bring awareness to council about the project we're working on. The immediate housing project that's up there, it's we're looking for council to, after you find out a bit more about it, if you would help us by endorsing our project. And so the immediate housing project, I've written several grants. I've written grants to the province, to the Nova Scotia Affordable Housing Development Program. The federal program has Build Canada Homes. They also have a CMHC Affordable Housing Initiative. I've written grants applications to all three of them. We haven't heard anything yet, but we will be going ahead with the project. We just want it to be affordable housing. And if we could get as much support as we could from both levels of government and from municipal government, our project could be affordable to a wider group of people. Also, we have a long-term development opportunity on the horizon. Because we have several acres of land at L'Arche, and we would like to develop that because we know that there's a need for it. The province is in a housing crisis, right from one end to the other. It's no different in this municipality. So it's no different right across our island. So we're back to the rationale behind our project, and that's, as I mentioned, the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy. The Cape Breton housing pressures, where there's very little housing available. Very little, of course, for people that need inclusive housing, and L'Arche feels that we can offer that. And we want it to be mixed tenancy, not only people with intellectual disabilities, maybe anyone that needs affordable housing. Maybe it's senior citizens, maybe it's newcomers, maybe it's healthcare workers, because since ages, healthcare workers are moving to our area and not finding places to live. And some of them haven't been able to stay because of that. So your council's endorsement would strengthen our capital applications and would signal council alignment. So that's the main thing that I wanted to ask for today. And as well as if you could offer us some financial support as well, we would be more than grateful. As I mentioned earlier, again, the Nova Scotia Court of Appeal said people with disabilities were treated unfairly, and that they were suffering from systemic discrimination. And so that's where the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy came from. So I'll just skip over to that. They found 4 main problems in how people with disabilities were being supported. They were living in institutions such as the Breton Ability Center, Riverview in Pictou County, and even McDonald Hall in Inverness. Like it's 13 people with intellectual disabilities live there, and although it's a great place, it's not their choice to live with 13 or 12 other people in a large center like that, and it's just not conducive to the type of housing that the Disability Rights Coalition, Inclusion Nova Scotia, and the L'Arche communities feel that people with disabilities deserve and want. So people with disabilities should be getting support that they're being told that they can't have, like they're being told that they can't live where they want to live or live with who they want to live with. And people with disabilities, they were being placed in settings far from home, and they're not getting the support that that they were told that they deserve. They were being put on wait lists for the support that they needed when the law says they should have access to that support quickly. So that tells you all about the Disability Rights Coalition and the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy. So that gets us on to the 6 key directions that the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy came up with. A new system of individualized planning and support, and that would drive a more person-centered and directed local community-based supports and services. So that's where L'Arche Cape Breton comes in. We feel with our 40+ years of experience helping people with intellectual disabilities live in a community that is safe, that is inclusive, that where they have choices and the autonomy to direct where they want their lives to be and where their families are included and they can live close by. So we feel that we have the experience to provide that. So we want to help build a broader system of community-based supports and services, a home and a life in the local community. And this is a province-wide multidisciplinary support system that will have regional hubs that will be organized by government, the Nova Scotia government, and that they will be sure to have other clinical supports ready to support these local options. In other words, we're not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. We still will be appreciative of all the local supports that are currently in place. Individualized funding is the basis of the new transformed system. It's the back, and it will strengthen the disability system capacity to enable transformation to what is a human rights approach. So now we're back to our project overview at Iron Mines, not far from Baddeck, and we have many people from Victoria County working at L'Arche Cape Breton, and they're excellent. They live here in this county. Who knows, when the larger institutions close, we hope to welcome more people with intellectual disabilities to L'Arche Cape Breton. And at this point in time, we don't know what municipality they'll be from, but we hope that they'll be able to live close to home, which would be in this municipality, the Inverness municipality. But we have a vision of having welcoming adults with intellectual disabilities, and if we will, our immediate housing project is 4 3-bedroom modular homes. So we'll have 12 units. There'll be 3 bedrooms in each unit. So that's 12 bedrooms. So they could be, if there's not enough people with intellectual disabilities that would like to live there, then we'll welcome seniors. We will welcome low to moderate income residents or essential workers, and it doesn't say here, but newcomers as well. We have many newcomers that are currently living at L'Arche Cape or working at L'Arche Cape Breton and living, some of them live as far away as CBRN and travel into L'Arche Cape Breton to work. And we are very lucky to have them, we know that. This project directly responds to the province's shift towards community-based living under the Human Rights Remedy. And we know that there is a limited supply of 3-bedroom rentals in Inverness County, Victoria County, and beyond. And there's a growing demand for accessible rural housing that's in a safe and inclusive area. And as I think everyone here is familiar with L'Arche Cape Breton and how we're actually a community within a community. And we feel that we are well situated to welcome people across these lines because we can offer so much. We have our own transportation within because we know that although we have the straight area transit, it's limited in how much what they can offer and the timelines and everything. We have many services within L'Arche Cape Breton that so that would mean that people wouldn't have to travel for some of the care that they would need. Page. So as I mentioned earlier, those are the grant applications that I've sent in through CMHC, Build Canada Homes. The provincial applications is the Nova Scotia Affordable Housing Development Program, and any other program that I could find that was aligned with the Human Rights Remedy. The first part of our project, the 4 3-bedroom modular homes, the total cost is $1.5 million. The people that we have already chosen a builder for that, we accepted proposals last year, and we looked at them all carefully, and we accepted a builder from Ayrshire. Their name is Brila Homes, and they've already completed a project in Port Hawkesbury very similar. So we feel very comfortable with that choice. It says community investment 1 million fundraising campaign. Well, that would be for the larger project of our 23 acres. That's not for this four unit project or 4 3-bedroom modular homes. But if we are successful with this, we have plans to move beyond this and develop the 23 acres that's in Iron Mines and put more housing units on that. But that will be a fundraising campaign that depends on that and will be launched in the future if this works out. We've already secured in-kind contributions totaling 180,000, and that includes groundwork, and that's already been done. And we're working hard to leverage the federal, provincial, and community donations. And we're not seeking 100% public subsidy, although we are hoping that we'll get funding from the provincial government and the federal government. We also have, we're very busy with smaller fundraising projects that we have on the go. And we would, as I said earlier, we would appreciate any support that council would be able to provide. The long-term development, I know I'm bouncing around here, but I want to cover both. On one hand, we have the modular 3-bedroom care, 3-bedroom care units that will be accepting delivery of probably next month, and for the first 3, and then the next 3 in July, and I believe the final 3 in September. We hope to have occupancy by the end of September, full occupancy of all 4 units. And then we're in the exploration phase of the other, I think it's 23 acres that we'd like to develop. And we received a $20,000 grant to use for the exploration stage, and that's from the province through the Service Evolution Fund. That after the Human Rights Remedy was established, they established a Service Evolution Fund to help organizations like L'Arche Cape Breton make the switch if we need it. So we're using this fund to explore the larger project that we have on the go, which would be to develop those 23 acres. So we're accessing the potential for that expanded housing and community-based supports. And as you know, that it is aligned with the remedy. And at this stage, this initiative requires council's awareness, and we would really appreciate council's support. A letter of endorsement would be wonderful for our current grants that we have already we've already submitted, and of course the financial support of council would be lovely. Potentially any funding that you could provide for us, or guidance on accessing grants that we may not be aware of. And then we wanted to also make you aware of our plan for long-term development. So that brings me to the end of the presentation, my presentation, and I would love to answer any questions that you may have. Because although it's all here in black and white, there's a lot of things that are in between the lines that maybe I can help you understand.
Thank you for your presentation. Do I have any questions or comments, concerns from any of the councillors? Okay, Deputy Warden, go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Josephine. You're talking about that you will need a letter of support.
Pardon me?
A letter of support.
A letter of support would be wonderful, because that would show that this area is aligned with our project, and that I would take that letter and forward it to the province and to the Build Canada Homes. That's a federal entity, and that would help a great deal.
Okay. And you're talking about some funding.
Yes.
Do you have any amount in mind, or is just?
Well, when these 4-bedroom units, 4 3-bedroom units arrive at L'Arche Cape Breton, they'll come without appliances, they'll come without furnishings. And if a family was moving in there, they'd have furnishings, but we anticipate there'll be people with disabilities moving in. They'll be coming from Breton Ability Center. They'll be coming from maybe McDonald Hall or Riverview. They won't have furnishings. So if you could help us, like that's something concrete, like we know we'll need to supply fridges and stoves and furniture for each unit. That will cost probably approximately $15,000 per modular home for a total of $60,000. So I know that's a large ask, but even a portion of that would be greatly appreciated. And if you could even see your way clear to helping us with half of that to furnish and supply appliances for two of them, then we would go elsewhere. Hopefully the Inverness municipality would look after the other two. And if that's something that you would sound fair to council, we would greatly appreciate it.
And I'm aware that we have some Victoria County residents there, right?
Pardon me?
You have Victoria County resident living there.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes. We have Jordan, as you may know.
Yeah.
We have Coralie from Washabuck.
And
We
Matthew.
have a few students that come from the school that come to our day programs. Matthew, Daniel have come to mind.
Well,
And there's more. I just
Yeah.
can't think of their names right
I just want to aware that we
Yeah,
residents
Mhm.
from families from Victoria County
Yeah.
using the
yeah. And we
the
have some lovely people that assistants working in our day programs that are living in this municipality. And we're so thankful because they're excellent assistants. And I won't mention their names because maybe they
Yeah.
wouldn't want me to. I don't
no,
know.
that's fine. No,
Yeah.
just to be just to
so-
council know some
Mhm.
residents from Victoria County using the facilities.
Yeah. And we
Uh,
hope that at some point, when we don't know who will be coming to us from Breton Ability Center, but it likely will be people that will want to return closer to home. And we're only 30 minutes away.
Exactly. Only one comment. We have our housing committee.
What committee is that?
The housing.
Housing Committee?
So it will be running very soon. So maybe you want to be in contact with them. That will be I think, be the bridge
Mm-hmm.
between
Okay.
that. and,
I would contact Steph maybe and
Yep.
you would help me with that? Thank you.
and so for the letter support, it just do you like a letter just supporting your project in principle?
Yes, that you support the project in principle, that you could see the reasoning behind it and the need for it with what's going on with the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy. I know that's a mouthful and it's news to a lot of people, the Nova Scotia Human Rights Remedy, but not to L'Arche because we're supposed to know about things like that. And but they had the committee that was struck by the province in 2021, they were given 5 years to close the institutions. And the Human Rights Remedy was established in 2021, that all started, but the committee didn't start till 23. So they were given 5 years and that takes them to 2028. So that's not very far away. And we're worried, we're worried that people, they'll have no place to go. And we saw that happen in our province before, back in the 70s when some institutions were closed in the Halifax area and people were on the street, and that was awful. There was no place for them to live. And we don't want that to happen to people in Cape Breton. So we're working hard towards our the smaller project where that's well on the way and the immediate need is right there. The larger project where we will develop those 23 acres and there's room on those 23 acres for 20 more units. So at least, that may sound like very large, and it is, but it's not something that we'll do overnight. It's something we'll do over a number of years.
Mhm.
But we're starting with this. We're starting with these 4 because we know that the need is there. We know that we can supply safe, affordable, inclusive housing, and if we can get help from all these levels of government, municipal, federal, provincial, then we can go ahead with affordable housing. But if not, then these units will still open, but they won't be as affordable as we had hoped. Then we'll have to, look elsewhere for maybe a mortgage or, so then we'll have debt to meet. But in the best of all worlds, we'll have no debt because we'll have the grants and we'll have enough fundraising. and then we can have affordable housing for people that need it. So
Thanks.
that's the gist of the whole project. So and if you can't think of anything today, that maybe something will come to mind in the future. And, you know, I believe that Steph has all my contact information. Please feel free to call or email at any time. And if I can't find the answer, then I can put you in touch with someone who knows. And that would be Mukhtar Limpau. He's our executive director, who apologizes again for not being here today himself, but he had a previous commitment to be out of the province this week. So he asked me if I would come, and I'm happy to be here. And as you know, it's close to my heart because my son Jonathan lives at L'Arche since 20 years, and it's given him a life that he never would have had if he had stayed home with us. He's a man that had selective mutism when he moved to L'Arche. He could speak, but he because of anxiety or whatever, he chose not to, and he went for 3 weeks at L'Arche when he first moved in, didn't say one word to anyone. But because of the type of support that L'Arche Cape Breton provides and the feeling of belonging that they provide, after 3 weeks, he didn't have selective mutism anymore. So as you can see, my family will forever be grateful for that. It meant a lot to us, and to see him just blossom and come into the man we always knew he could be. And right now we went for a man who wouldn't leave the house to a man who has 2 jobs and is looking forward to going to Alberta in July to visit his relatives. And he's traveling and he's speaking, and he has many ideas that he would like to share. In fact, I thought maybe he would come with me today, but he had something important to do. So more important to this, he didn't want to come. So again, thank you so much to council. I really appreciate the opportunity to present.
Thank you.
So if there's nothing else, I'll just.
Yeah, thank you, Deputy.
Just would like to make a motion to give the letter of support for you.
Okay.
If-
There's a motion on the table. Can we second? Seconded by Councillor Matheson Lafort. All in favor? You'll be getting your letter of support.
Oh, thank you so much. And it's the housing committee, just to be clear, that would decide on any financial.
Yeah,
support.
maybe with that, you guys
And
can
I'll follow up with that.
follow up with that.
Perfect.
Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you so much, everyone. Have a
Nice to
great
see you.
day.
Thanks.
Go. Next, we have our own Miss Morgan for a solid waste presentation. Morning, Morgan. You can start.
Perfect. Well, thank you all for having me. I'm very excited to be here. And I'm just going to give you a quick peek into what I do in my role and also maybe educate you guys on some of municipal waste services we provide here in Victoria County. So before going any further, I'll just introduce myself for the folks at home. My name is Morgan McInnes. I'm the solid waste educator for the municipality of Victoria County. And what I do in my role is I help schools, individuals, businesses, and community groups reduce waste. I help educate on proper sorting and recycling practices, and I help keep communities cleaner, whether that's through education or by providing individuals with the supplies they need to clean up their communities. And in my role, my main goal is to work towards reducing as much waste we send to the landfill as possible and protecting our environment. So education on my end could be in the form of something like this, a presentation. I can also help host community events related to waste diversion, such as the toy swaps and clothing swaps I've been doing, as well as creating educational material we can supply on our municipal pages. So I always like to start my presentations with this engaging question. So it's a true or false for you councillors. Is there a landfill in Cape Breton? Perfect. I love to hear it. So that's false. We do not have a landfill in Cape Breton. We haven't for about 20 years. The bottom picture is what is left of the landfill that was in Bedeck. But now all of our garbage is sent to Guysborough. So Waste Management in Victoria County, we have 2 transfer stations, one in Bedeque and one in Dingwall, as well as 2 recycling depots, one in Bedeque and one in New Haven. Now our trucks are on the road 5 days a week, every week, and in that week we stop at over 4,000 residences. And on average, we make a trip to Guysborough daily with our garbage, but we have a lot of summer residences, we have a lot of seasonal businesses. In the summer months, we can make up to 2 trips daily with garbage. So we produce a lot of garbage. Another true or false for you, since our trucks pick up recycling, organics, and garbage, it's all mixed together. Perfect. So that is false. It's a very common misconception. And where a lot of this misconception comes from is people coming to the tipping floor. You might see blue bags mixed in with garbage bags. And that reason for that is contamination. So those bags were deemed as contaminated, whether they were severely dirty or there were materials in the blue bags that just shouldn't have been in. Our collection staff will sort it and it will go to garbage. But our trucks are sorted to 3 compartments to keep everything nice and separated. So you can see in the picture, the middle, there is a chute isolated for organics. Organics is usually the smallest volume of waste we collect curbside, so that's why it goes in that chute. But the top is reserved for recycling and the bottom is for garbage. So we keep it separated throughout the whole process. So curbside garbage collection, you are allotted 4 bags curbside and they must be in clear plastic bags. If they're in any other color or they are not transparent, they will be rejected. And what goes in your garbage, at least now with all the changes to recycling, is actually quite little. So your personal waste products are going to go in there. Diapers, facial wipes, hair, tooth, or lint brushes, or any bandages or gauze. Your pet waste is going to go in there, whether it's bagged or kitty litter, and household waste. So anything that cannot be reused, broken toys, broken glass, although broken glass must be boxed and securely taped, disposable mop heads, things that cannot be recycled. And same for organics collection. You are also allowed 4 bags curbside, but a common misconception is that we actually don't suggest you use compostable bags that you can buy at the store. We suggest you use clear green tinted plastic bags here for several reasons. One, the compostable bags you buy in the store, they break very easily and they don't hold as much volume, but also it doesn't work well with our method of composting we do in Victoria County. So in Victoria County, we use a composting method called open windrow composting. So the bottom picture there is our compost pile out on our site, and someone goes out and they open every single bag and dump the organic waste into that pile, and our staff go out and periodically churn that material. So when they turn it, it's exposing every piece of that organic matter to oxygen and it breaks down really well. However, the compostable bags, they will take a very, very long time. They need a little bit extra assistance, which our facilities just don't accommodate here. So we suggest you use clear green tinted plastic bags. And what goes in those bags is your organics. So fruit and vegetable scraps, bread, grain, pasta, eggshells, bones, all those good things. And I'll actually be doing a composting webinar at the end of the month on May 29th. So if anyone wants some more information on this and maybe some information on some backyard composting and vermicomposting, you can pre-register online at our website or on our Facebook page. And there is a composter up for grabs and a giveaway. And of course, we can't forget about recycling. Before I get into the nitty-gritty of recycling, I want to provide a little bit of clarity on this term, EPR. You might have seen it in the news or online. And starting December 1st, 2025, recycling all over Nova Scotia is now managed by Circular Materials. So Circular Materials is a national not-for-profit, and they have taken care of, they manage recycling in various provinces across Canada and have great success. And they are now doing it here for Nova Scotia. And they are bringing forth EPR, which is Extended Producer Responsibility. And basically what EPR does is it shifts the responsibility of recycling packaging paper from the municipality onto the producers who make all that packaging. And what this means for Victoria County residents is only that you can recycle more. So in my books, that's only a good thing. So this is an example of our old sort guide. It's great, but this is an example of our new sort guide, and this is just the side reserved for recycling. So you can see that we can recycle quite a bit more than we were previously. And because of that, it only makes sense that you are now allowed to put more out curbside. So instead of 4 bags, which you were allowed previously, you can now up to 6 bags put curbside. So blue tinted plastic bags. Something that isn't included on the sorting guide, but is a new change that's coming to Nova Scotia, is depot drop-off items. So we can now recycle styrofoam, plastic laminates such as chip bags or the mesh around fruit, and non-hazardous aerosols such as hairspray or cooking spray. Unfortunately, these items are not included in curbside collection. This is not a municipal decision, it's directly from Circular Materials. And we understand this is not accessible for everyone, but for those who are going to the depot regularly or might be driving by, if you want to have a bag and hate seeing these materials go in the garbage, you can have a bag for these depot items and recycle them. So I could sit here and read every one of those items on the sort guide, but that would take a long time and would be quite boring. So I thought, councillors, we could play a little game called Sort It Out. So a new item to recycling is receipts. And in typical Videc fashion, I have a Tom's Pizza receipt. What stream of recycling would this go in? Fibers or containers? Perfect. Absolutely, Wanda. So this is going in fibers. So before the new changes to recycling, any paper with a wax coating or coating in general wasn't recyclable, but now you can. So receipts, lottery tickets, coupons, they are now recyclable in the fiber stream. Very good. Here's another true or false for you. Our recycling is hand sorted. Absolutely. So this is true. All our recycling at both our facilities are hand sorted by our employees. And I always want to stress this because we always say to rinse and dry our materials. And that's because people just like you and me are going through and sorting those materials. So a good rule of thumb, if you wouldn't want to touch it, don't make someone else touch it. Here's another sorted out. So hairspray. I'm done with my hairspray. Where would I put this? Very good. I thought I tricked someone, but that's a depot item. So if you decide to have a depot bag at home, you can put that in your depot bag. Now, I talked a lot about curbside accepted materials, but there are a lot of other materials we accept at our site that you can bring. We just don't accept curbside. So metal and white goods are refrigerators, our freezers, our dryers. Contaminated soil, it's accepted through our bioremediation cell as long as the materials meet required testing parameters. Construction and demolition materials, this is probably the largest amount of materials we see coming into our site. Household hazardous waste, those are your propane tanks, oil filters, automotive fluids, and transparency is key in this regard. We accept them wholeheartedly, but just let our staff know that they're coming so we can direct you to the right spot to put them. We also accept used passenger tires as long as they're under 24.5 inches and free of rims and debris. And of course, e-waste. So those are your TVs, your computers, as well as recently your countertop appliances, so air fryers, as well as beauty appliances. So your curling wands, your blow dryers can all be recycled.
Morgan,
Yes.
can you explain, because I know there's a lot of fishermen in the area, about lobster traps going to the waste? Cement has to be removed?
Yes. Remove cement. Yes. Absolutely. And just all those items come, I just want to stress that we should be a last resort almost if you can't reuse those items. But if you're just looking to upgrade and your washer still works or you want a new desk, we highly consider donating or giving it to someone. And an option to do that is our reuse center out on our site. So our reuse center operates annually from April to October, and it's run entirely by local nonprofits. So their nonprofits are chosen through a random submission application, and they run it for 2 consecutive Saturdays, and they are responsible for their volunteers, their float, and all the proceeds made that non-for-profit keeps. So in 2025, the Reuse Center supported 9 local nonprofits, and collectively they raised over $21,000. So this is a great option if you want to be more sustainable and want to divert waste, but also want to support our local nonprofits. And at our site, we try to do a great job of, if we see something come in that is in good quality, such as lumber or a desk, we will put it in the reuse center as well. But just so residents know, this is an option as well. Here's another sorted out. So I hope no one in my house is looking to brush their teeth because I stole our toothpaste. So this is a new recyclable item. Where would toothpaste tubes go once empty, in the fiber or the container stream? In the fiber recycling stream or the container recycling stream? Container, very good. Yep, this is going to go in container. And you might be wondering, how in the world am I going to clean a toothpaste tube? But you actually don't have to. If you can't get any more toothpaste out of this tube, you are able to put the lid on and put it in your container. Just make sure you get as much toothpaste out as possible. And another item I often get asked how to sort is batteries. What do we do with these little guys? Absolutely. Perfect. So I thought I'd trick you up on this one, but very good. So batteries under no circumstances should ever go in curbside collection. And there's a few steps you want to take. So some batteries require more protection than others, particularly alkaline batteries, 9 volts or higher, coin cell or lithium small sealed lead acid batteries. You're going to want to protect the terminals because when they have friction against each other or other materials like steel in our collection trucks or concrete, they can spark. So to protect the terminals, you can do it in one of 2 ways. You can tape them, whether with packing tape or electrical tape, or you can bag and seal them individually. And then you're going to collect them, as like Donna said, you're going to collect them in a non-metal container like glass or plastic, and you're going to store them in a cool, dry, dark place. And once you've accumulated enough, you're able to safely drop them off at a drop-off location. So if that's the center or both our Enviro depots also accept batteries. We just recommend you do it every 3 months because they will corrode and that's an extra fire risk. And we always stress this because things like this can happen. So these are examples of battery fires within our province. One was in the back of a garbage collection truck, which they had to dump on the road, and another is on a conveyor belt at a recycling facility. So these little batteries don't seem like they can cause much damage, but they can. So to protect yourself and our waste workers, always take the right precautions. And last but not least, this is a new recyclable item. A blister pack, also something I hope no one else is looking for at my house. Where would we put blister packs when we're done with them? In fiber stream or the container stream? It's actually the container stream. So there's multiple materials used in this, aluminum foil and plastic. Both of those are now recyclable, so they can go right in your container stream when you're done with them. And this is a great segue into how to dispose of medication and sharps. So I'll start with medications. To dispose of medications, first, you never want to flush or throw them out because you never know where they might end up. But thankfully, in Nova Scotia, we have a medication disposal program that lets you return any expired or unused medications to the local pharmacies for free and safe destruction. So you're just going to want to bag them and drop them off at your local pharmacy. And the pharmacies also deal with sharps. But before I tell you how to dispose of sharps, I'm going to tell you how not to dispose of sharps. So you're not going to want to put any needles or syringes in bottles or jugs, and you're definitely not going to put them into the garbage or recycling bags. Our municipal waste collection services have nothing to do with sharps. We do not accept them. And you're also not going to flush them down the toilet, and you're definitely not going to burn them. There's only one correct way to dispose of sharps, and that's with a safe sharps container at your community pharmacy. You can pick it up, and once it's filled, you're going to seal it correctly and return it sealed to your community pharmacy. And it's good to note that currently in Nova Scotia, we actually have a shortage of safe sharps containers, but that still does not mean they should be going into the waste stream. So whatever the advice is for the pharmacy in which you attend, follow that advice, always bring sharps back to the pharmacy. And these are a few of the acceptable sharp waste. So use needles, use syringes, use lancet or finger stick devices, use single dose auto injectors, such as EpiPens, use infusion set needles or connection needles. You're not going to want to put in any medication or pill bottles. We know how to dispose of medication now, but a lot of pill bottles are recyclable. Any PPE or garbage and recycling package should not be going into the sharps container. No Band-Aids or gauze or tissues, that is garbage. Multi-dose injectors like insulin pens that don't have a needle, you shouldn't be putting those into a sharps container. And same with empty vials, that glass can be put in the garbage. And the reason we stress this, and I always like to end this, because a lot of people do not know, if one of our waste workers gets pricked by a needle, and it's very easy to happen, our workers work fast and efficiently, they have to undergo a year of testing to see if they were infected or not. So not only are we protecting them physically, but we're also protecting them mentally, because the mental toll it can have not knowing if you're infected or not can be quite detrimental. So that brings me to the end of my presentation. I have my contact information on screen, so anyone at home or counselors, if you want to reach out to me for any waste inquiries, but I'm open to questions now if you have any.
You, Morgan, does anyone have any? Councillor Matheson Lafort.
Yes.
Not really question, but just like a tip for anybody who is diligent at washing out their recyclables. You can just pop them in the dishwasher, because if you're wasting 20 liters of water trying to clean out a peanut butter jar, it's not very environmentally friendly either. So that's just one of my tips. Dishwasher for everything from cans to plastic.
Absolutely.
I think it
Save it.
right.
Absolutely. Or say, don't just rinse it for the sake. Wait till you're doing a load of dishes and then wash it out. That's a great tip.
Anyone else? Oh, go ahead.
Follow up. So styrofoam can be brought back to a depot, but it can't be recycled from your home, which means you still have to put it in as a garbage item from your home. That's the tricky question.
I will say that we prefer you put it in recycling rather than put it in the garbage, and hopefully at the site we will see it. But the direction from Circular Materials is to bring it to the depot. That's how they want us to do it. That's not a municipal decision.
Are there any plans in the future to be able to handle that? Is it just a bulk volume issue when it comes to styrofoam? That
I
doesn't.
can't quite answer the why as of yet, and I don't want to make a guess.
No, that's fine.
But
That's fine.
it's still a relatively new program, so all municipalities are giving their feedback. So I'm sure there's potential in the future for revisiting that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much.
No problem.
You, Councillor, anyone else? Councillor Hennick.
Morgan, my question is on the compost that's taken from the Dingwall transfer station and the one in Bedeck. Is that available for the residents to take or use?
So it's actually not. So because of the method of compost, it is free to the elements. So birds are constantly getting into it. Their feces are getting into it. So it cannot be used for gardening. And we also don't accumulate as much compost from that as a lot of people would think. So when organic material breaks down, it loses about 40 to 60% of its mass due to water. So if you have 10 kilograms of organics, you're only getting about 3 to 5 kilograms of compost. So we do use it on our site for other infrastructure needs, but right now we can't give it out to residents due to the contamination.
Okay, great, because I was asked from a few people. The other question is paint. Like you can't take it to the transfer stations anywhere. So is there anything going to become available that residents can get rid of their paint?
So we do accept paint at our
Okay,
transfer stations. Yep, as long as they are in the original cans and they are sealed appropriately, they are recycled. We actually it's a stewardship program through Product Care Canada,
okay.
and I can't quite remember the number, but I think it was over 40,000 liters of paint they recycled.
But isn't
last
there
year.
a certain kind of paint though that they can't take? Is it like oil paint or mercury paint or some sort of paint?
I'm sure. I don't know the exact. There's a long list of paints they accept and can't accept,
Right,
but I
right.
can give you the information for sure, Wanda.
Okay.
I can send it,
Yeah.
email it to you.
Okay, perfect. Because I think maybe it's the boat paint or something. There's some
Maybe.
certain paint that I know they can't take, and then I
Yep.
think you have to take it into Sydney or somewhere. I'm not
Okay.
quite sure where the location is at, but I was asked about that too.
Sure, I'll
So,
find that material
Okay.
information and send it to you.
All right, thank you.
No problem.
Councillor Donovan.
Just a quick question regarding whether or not you know if there are lobby groups who have approached higher levels of government or who have approached manufacturers to get them to maybe reduce the amount of packaging on every single thing we buy.
I can't speak to that necessarily, unfortunately, but I think that is what EPR is sort of doing. Like producers are responsible for the cost of the recycling, so that's a small initiative. But I can't speak to any other groups, unfortunately. It's out of my scope, unfortunately.
That is the motivation of the whole EPR program, is to try to charge them so then they are more motivated to cut it back. But does it always work? I doubt it.
Anyone else have any questions or comments for Morgan?
I do have a
Okay,
comment.
go ahead.
Excuse me, just as a point of interest. So I was speaking with someone that works for public health just the other day, and they mentioned that they're working on sharps with CBRM, which is a very active issue in CBRM, and talking about different options there beyond pharmacies. And some things that have come up is like the receptacles out and about, having relationships with volunteer fire departments to have them, which I think was maybe a thing in the past, to have them with the appropriate boxes to drop things off. So it might be something we hear more about in the future, because it is being discussed a lot in CBRM right now.
Thank you, Morgan.
Thank you so much for
Very
having me.
informative.
Thank you.
And now we'll have Yvette Rogers come up for our volunteer awards.
Okie dokie. Thank you all counselors for getting your score cards back to me. So as you know, we had a discussion at the Committee of the Whole meeting on the 4th, and just to update folks at home who may be watching the live stream, Victoria County had put out a call for nominations for Volunteer of the Year Award, and the deadline was April 27th. We had 9 nominations, 5 of which were youth, which I think is a really interesting thing, and I really want to commend all of those who submitted nominations, as well, of course, all of those nominees. It's really important, and I was really, really encouraged to see so many youth applicants. And so what we did was remove the names of the applicants for the sake of anonymity and send them to each counselor to score. And all counselors scored the nominations, and then I tallied them up to see who was the highest score. And our 2026 Volunteer of the Year Award is a grade 8 student, Maya McLeod. So congratulations to Maya McLeod. We will also do a little bit of work here internally, myself and our communications department, to reach out to Maya, do a bit of an interview with them. But they'll be selected to be our representative at the Provincial Volunteer Awards, which takes place in September. And so we submit that to the province this month. It has to be in by May 29th. So we're ahead of the game, thankfully, there. I just want to reach out to them and their parent or guardian just to make sure they're able to attend the event and have the accommodation sorted, that sort of thing. We'll take care of that. But I really appreciate all the counselors weighing in, and did want to send a special thank you out to all of those who were nominated and all of the people who sent in nominations. And we may even reach out to some of those nominees to do a few interviews, because I think it's important for us to highlight all of the volunteerism in the county and encourage more of it. Are there any questions?
Councillor Matheson, Laporte.
Thank you, Chair. Would there be any thought going forward of having the 2 categories, where we have a youth category and then an adult category? Because
Well, we send one representative as the representative category. The province itself has separate categories that you could just apply directly to the province if you wanted to the Provincial Volunteer Awards. We can't send more than one representative as the representative. However, I mean, we could do more than one winner and then maybe select from that winner which one gets to be the representative going to the province, or suggest that those are who are also applying to us for the Victoria County Volunteer of the Year would also apply to the province for their provincial volunteer awards because they have a few more categories than we have as well.
Very much.
You're welcome.
Questions or comments for Beth there? Well, congratulations, Maya. Yes. Wonderful to see a grade 8 student.
Yes, it really is. And it was really encouraging to see so many youth nominated. I really have to say, I thought that was really, really encouraging. And I thought, oh, this is nice to see bright, young, engaged people in our communities for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
There's no other questions or concerns for, we are going to take a 15-minute recess. Thanks. Okay, we're back from our little recess there. So we're going to do council reports. So we'll start here with Councillor Matheson Lafort. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Chair. Provincial Public Works matters have been forwarded to the appropriate departments for review because I had quite a few flooding issues in my area. And they'll be doing follow-up to ensure timely attention and resolution to those. So I'd just like that noted for those constituents who know who they are and properties they are. On April 25th, I had the pleasure of serving as a judge alongside Councillor Bourne at the Cape Breton Regional 4-H rally held at Bedeck Academy. And I believe Maya McLeod was one of the ones there as well. So she's quite busy. I got to evaluate junior, intermediate, and divert speeches. It was enjoyable and it was fun experience with the participants. On the evening of April 25th, I attended a recognition event for volunteers of the Royal Canadian Legion, Branch 124 in Iona, both past and present. Thank you to Paul McNeil, former councillor, for the invitation, except he forgot to tell me he wanted me to speak, but I managed to do that anyway. And an appreciation is extended to all the Legion volunteers for their continued contributions. They've actually been really lucky. People have always loved supporting Grand Donor 124. Along with several other councillors, I participated in the spring conference of the Nova Scotia Federation of Municipality. Love to thank Yarmouth. They were an absolute fabulous host. And a key feature of the NSM conferences is the opportunity for engagement and networking with provincial and federal ministers and colleagues across the province. So the conference agenda is available online for those interested in reviewing the full program of sessions and presentations if they wanted to ask councillors about anything that we witnessed there. Attended an all-day water symposium on May 12th at Dalhousie University alongside Councillor Bourne. The symposium focused on water security and watershed management, including climate change impacts, infrastructure renewal, and long-term planning for resilient water services. And it also did a really great job at emphasizing the collaboration between municipalities, researchers, and Indigenous communities. I would also like to note that the 10th anniversary of Aris Namera Ocean Week in conjunction with World Ocean Day will take place from May 31st to June 7th, 2026. The event will feature coastal, cultural, outdoor, culinary, musical, educational, and community-based programming. Activities include shoreline science demonstration at the Port of Iona, Discovery Center open houses, Blue ROV2 underwater demonstrations, guided trail and beach program at Iona Beach Trail and McCormick Provincial Park, Mi'kmaq and Gaelic cultural programming, Cape Breton music and Cayley events, community meals featuring, of course, local seafood. There will be school engagement with Rankin School of the Narrows and other partners, and youth-led interpretation initiatives and the World Ocean Day Forum. And finally, seasonal businesses within District 1 are now open and operating. Residents and visitors are encouraged to support local businesses, artisans, and tourist operators throughout the district as the summer season begins. Local support continues to play an important role in sustaining our community strength and resilience. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Deputy Warden?
Warren. I have just one. It's regarding the trails. Just give you a little background. In December 3rd, 2025, they approved the trail from the transfer stations to the Whale Trail in Big Bedeque. In January 26th, at council, I request to start moving the gate when weather permitted and make the arrangements for being ready by spring. We have this phase planning time ago, since they put the bridge in the village 9 years ago. We have the bridge, easements, and road approved right now, and right now holding Public Works municipality to be done. So in the CEO report, say Public Works is talking with Trails Department, and they telling the late June will be done. So I think people is waiting since winter to start coming the tourism residents and be crossing from the village to go to the highlands. And it's May, we still don't have it. Everything is in place, only in Public Works is not doing his job there. I want to make a motion to direct CEO to provide a specific time line or alternative route where the residents and tourists can go. I understand how some issues in traffic, so that's operation. I don't go there, but I just need a timeline for the residents and the tourism. So make a motion for.
There's a motion on the table. Do I have a seconder?
I need to make a motion to direct CEO to provide specific timeline or alternative route where the residents and tourists can cross the village to the bridge, go transfer station, and go to the approved road to the highlands. So everything is in place. It's just I asked for if they can move the gate, because if you go to the transfer station, you see the gate. So between the gate and the scale, you go to the parking lot. So they have to just move the gate close to the transfer station. So that way the people can just cross. So I'm just asking for the timeline when it's going to be
Deputy
ready.
Warden, we have a comment there.
So I don't know a ton about this, but I do know that there's still active construction happening in that area. So part of the concern was safety.
What is the active construction?
So I don't know where, but there's a section of it that's still being worked on. So, I mean, we can definitely provide more information, but I do know that there is some component of it that was safety related.
Yeah, but I'm talking since January 26th. And nobody say anything about active construction or what is the delaying. They say it was only to move the gate, and now it's saying late. Possibly late June, depending on availability. What is that?
Yeah, I do know much of our trail work does stop in the winter. So it probably started back up in the spring, but we can get you more details if that's what you're looking for.
So can I have more details about what is the delay for that? If they, unless they buy another gate, or they're going to move another, what is the plan? Because this plan is since, we have a trail since 9 years old, like we having trails, right? So this phase was coming, so I assume they have the plan, have to do the traffic and all that, right?
Okay, yeah,
So
a
That's what
new,
commissioners are, so I
Right.
would like to know.
a new gate needs to be installed.
What is that?
A new gate needs to be installed.
Is you have the gate now, or?
I'm not sure. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't been directly
Yeah, they
involved,
told me
but-
that in January they have to buy a gate.
Okay,
So I wondered if they buy the gate, when is the timeline to do it? People is just waiting for
okay.
cross there. So we do all this, we do the bridge, easements, approved trails with the province. This is the only is waiting for the people can go.
Okay. If it's okay, Dan will come in right now and speak to it if you'd like.
If, yeah,
Sure. He just said,
Okay,
he
we'll-
messaged
we'll-
and said he
We'll
would.
go on to,
Yeah, because people need to know what's going on, why they can be access there. So it's just it's the questions they're asking.
yep, oh, there he is right there. We're waiting for you, Mr. Coffin. You're in the hot seat now.
Yes. Thanks, Dan.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed the last part there.
Yeah, then your report, they say is going to be until June, late June, no date, depending on availability. What's
So
that?
there's two issues. There's the waste management site where the trail will cross the waste management entryway it's a crossing of trail traffic and
Mhm.
vehicular traffic. There was an incident on site where a number of dirt bikes were going the wrong direction on the roadway, driveway in, and almost got hit by an 18-wheeler.
Mhm.
So in meeting with Public Works, we discussed the safety protocols of what's going to take place. We already have a signage plan in place to lead in to prepare to notify drivers that there's a trail crossing and to notify trail users that there's traffic coming through there. That work won't take very long. It's just signs to put up. The gate, the second gate, it's not moving the existing gate, it's adding a second gate so that traffic can't get into the waste management site from the trail or
Okay.
from the parking area. So Public Works doesn't allow traffic in there after hours, and that second gate needs to go in. The challenge is we brought a gate in from Dingwall that can only cover half of that space because it's a 2-lane driveway where that second gate is going. So we have to find the availability of the second portion of that gate to close that road off altogether. So that's one issue. That will be the June timeframe to get that gate installed and have concrete set and all the work that goes with that. The secondary part is from where the trail comes off the waste or off the bridge towards the waste management facility, there's a section of DNR land that we just received a permit to complete the trail on. So that's the section that would take them to the waste management roadway where the gate is located. That trail has never been built yet, but there's people using it already, even though it's not been opened, it's not been allowed to be opened, and it's been in our phased plan of when it would be developed. So that's going to take place this summer as well, where that section of trail will be completed so that it'll be usable for users in a safe fashion. So that work has just been ratified last week. We got the permits from DNR to go ahead with that work. So we're going to get that done this year so that full trail system is accessible to the parking lot area.
Okay, so you say.
How long that takes, we're out to contract now to see what the timeline on the contractors would be to get that work done.
So what did you suggest for the people listening, how they're going to use right now, they going to the Highlands using the approved road?
Right now there's going to be Jersey barriers put in place to prevent people from going from the parking area to the waste management facility and from the waste management facility into the highway. So they won't come from the village. They'll have to drive out to the parking area. Once the roadway is put into the parking area, then they'll be able to park in the parking area and access the road trail from there if they
And
choose.
for the parking area will be until June.
Yes,
Okay, thanks.
no problem.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, yes, thank you for the question.
is that good then, Deputy?
Yep,
Good.
thank you. So I withdraw the motion.
Okay.
Thanks.
Councillor Patterson, you're up.
Thank you, Warden. We got some good news, the last meeting, I believe, when Steve McDonald was here. They're going to reconstruct and pave the Steel Cross Road. Just a little geography lesson. Steel Cross obviously crosses Bullitree Island from the south side to the north side. And in its present condition, a lot of people won't use it because it's so deteriorated. So hopefully this will, it's much quicker depending on where they're going to use it, but they still opt not to because of the condition of the road, as I said. So hopefully if it's done this summer, it'll open that up. Signs of spring and summer. The Roxbury Marine Park has opened, I think. The official opening is July 1st, but they put up the historical plaques and cleaned up around, and there's boats being launched. I don't think there's any kids swimming yet, but it won't be too long, hopefully. Looking forward to the Little Wave and the Big Wave. The Little Wave is in New Campbellton, and the Big Wave is in Big Bedour in July. I don't have the exact dates. Lunch and Learns and the coffee every Monday are becoming more and more popular. I think they're getting up close to 15 to 20 people at the just coffee and a chat. And Lunch and Learns, I think one they had, there was in excess of 50 people showed up, so they've been a success. The fishermen finally got to set their traps yesterday. Some did set on Saturday, but the weather was a major obstacle in that. And I got a request from St. James Church in Big Bedour. And we sent the municipal grant recommendation back to committee, right? Yeah, okay, thank you. They had requested some funding for automatic defibrillator. In that request, I believe they had in. And then they also asked me for a contribution toward it. So I'm just trying to debate whether to wait another month or to get a motion pending the result of the deliberations of the committee. Need some direction, Warden or Alex?
We'll be meeting within a couple weeks for the grants.
Oh, we're gonna meet
yes.
specifically.
Yeah.
Okay, I can wait. I'll
Okay.
tell them that the meeting is coming and the final decisions have not
Oh,
been
maybe
made
2
yet.
weeks.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay, is that correct, Alex?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
So anyway, to sum up, I guess we're looking toward forward to a busy summer. Lots of activities going on, and any of you are invited to come and visit either the Roxbury Marine Park or the festivities in Big Bedour. And hopefully, like I said, it won't be as dry as last year, but hopefully it'll be an enjoyable summer. Thank you, Warden.
Thank you, Councillor Patterson. Councillor Bourne.
Thank you, Warden. So on May 17th, I attended the Blessing of the Fleet at Little River Wharf. It was a wonderful community gathering in support of our fishing families as they begin the season. We recognize and appreciate the dedication and sacrifices of our fishers and wish everyone across Victoria County, especially District 4, a safe and prosperous fishing season ahead. I would also like to recognize Captain Nancy Smith from the North Shore and District Volunteer Fire Department on her 35 years of service. Captain Smith was the first female fire chief in Nova Scotia and among the province's first medical first responders in 1997. Her dedication and leadership are greatly appreciated. Regarding the Englishtown Ferry, I continue to follow up with the province on the return of the ferry. Repairs are nearing completion. However, some final work remains and delays delaying the safe tow back to Englishtown. I also attended with some other counselors the spring conference NSFM in Yarmouth, and I also attended the Municipal Water Resilience and Planning Symposium in Halifax with Councillor Matheson Laforte. Spring cleanup efforts are now underway throughout the district. Thank you to everyone who has already volunteered their time to help beautify the communities. I also wanted to acknowledge the positive feedback received regarding the recent heavy pickup. I'd like to thank the company and the workers involved. I've received many residents sending great messages. Upcoming events include the public information session, which will be held this evening. It's the emergency pre-plans at the Indian Brook Fire Hall that will happen this evening at 7. As well, I would like to mention Victoria County will be hosting a free document shredding event for the residents coming up in Bedeque on May 23rd at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Bedeque Academy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Donovan.
Well, summer, as Councillor Patterson said, summer, and it's around the corner. As in his district, in my district, lobster season also started. The men and women are out hard at work. In fact, we had some on the weekend. It was very good. Things are starting to green up in our area. The restaurants and the seasonal businesses are all opening up, which is nice to see. The Cape Breton Highlands Golf Links is open now, which is also really nice to see. And if I may, I would like to read a letter which was written by MLA Diane Timmins to the Minister of Canadian Heritage and the Minister of Canadian Identity and Culture regarding the Celtic Lodge. Her letter reads, as the MLA for Victoria the Lakes, I'm reaching out about the future of a landmark that means a great deal to our community, the Celtic Lodge. The main lodge was closed in April of 2024 because of its aging condition and the substantial investment needed to bring it up to safety standards. Since then, the future has remained uncertain. I understand the Federal Heritage Review Office recently finished its evaluation and found that the main lodge does not meet the technical threshold for federal heritage status. Still, the FHRO made a point of recognizing the building's deep connection to its surroundings and the value it holds for our community. Sitting within the Cape Breton Highlands National Park, the first national park in Atlantic Canada, the lodge has been a key part of an important cultural landscape for generations. Importantly, the lack of federal designation does not close the door on preserving or reusing this iconic building. As talks continue with Gulf North about a long-term lease for the property, we need to take a close look at the 3 options outlined in the recent third-party analysis. Heritage restoration at a cost of $69.5 million. This would protect the lodge's Tudor revival style, address accessibility and code issues, add modern hotel amenities, and upgrade the underground infrastructure. 2 was the adaptive reuse of the lodge at a cost of $58.5 million. This would keep the building's exterior character while turning the inside into something new. It's far too big for just one purpose, so it could become a mix of community meeting rooms, perhaps restaurant, offices, staff housing, and other uses with the needed upgrades underneath. The third option, which is, in my opinion, the least palatable, would be removal, the cost of $11.6 million. This means demolishing everything east of the land bridge, but the roadway and trailhead parking lot would stay as they are. Since it opened during the Second World War, the Celtic Lodge has stood out as one of Canada's most celebrated resort destinations. Its Tudor revival style is something you rarely see at this scale in Atlantic Canada. The lodge is also closely tied to the famous Cape Breton Highlands Links, designed by Stanley Thompson and known as one of the country's most influential golf courses. Together, these make Celtic Lodge a key part of Canada's cultural story. Recent investment from both the province and the federal government like the Celtic Inroad realignment, upgrades to the underground infrastructure, and the reopening of an improved Middlehead Trail, show that this area is still a vital hub for the economy and for recreation. The national coverage this issue has received, even beyond Nova Scotia, proves that the Celtic Lodge matters not only locally, but across Canada. The importance of advocacy regarding the future of the Celtic Lodge at the federal level is urgent, as a site of deep cultural and historical significance. Its uncertainty represents more than a financial issue. It reflects on heritage and how our heritage is valued and protected. Losing such a historic part of Cape Breton would be an enormous cultural loss. I believe we can meet this challenge if we work together. I urge your department to look into federal funding and partnerships to support either heritage restoration or adaptive use for the Celtic Lodge. This would ensure the Lodge continues to support our local economy and remain a proud piece of our shared heritage. Sincerely, Diane Timmins. And I would like to extend my appreciation to MLA Timmins for taking this step. That's it for me. Thank you.
Councillor. Councillor Hennick.
Thank you, Warden. I also like to extend to say that I attended the SFF in Yarmouth with fellow councillors in Warden, Oregon, in which our very own Councillor Fraser Patterson spoke on several very important topics for our area, like cell phone service and safety. Kudos to you, Fraser. Thank you very much for your hard work on these committees. It was a very interesting conference on being able to talk to ministers, deputy ministers, fellow councillors, wardens, mayors from different municipalities to share their ideas, as each municipality is different but the same in many ways. It was a great event. I also attended a meeting with Warden Oregon and Councillor Donovan with the RCMP in Ingonish. We really need to lobby for more officers with the increase in population in the summer with tourists and other officers that are leaving. It's leaving air detachment short for periods of time. So that was very brought forward that I think we really should make a recommendation to the head departments on that, because it's getting scary. We're getting a new recruit in, one's leaving, one's coming in September, but they can't go out on the road by themselves for several months until they're trained. So it leaves their communities. It's they span a long area from Meat Cove to the ferry and around Tarbert. So they're very short on members. I think there'll only be 5 that's being rotated. So we need to push for better coverage. The healthcare fair at the Bay St. Lawrence Community Center was a great success and well attended. The washrooms at the North Highlands Community Museum are open as of today. I'm sure there'll be a lot of visitors. It was a very busy weekend with waterfall weekend, they call it, and many people were looking for washrooms, but we needed to get some much needed repairs done before they open. So hopefully they're done today and they will be open. Also, the museum will be opening on June 1st, so get down if you can and take a visit in. Community cleanup was done in Dingwall on Saturday. Thank you to all the volunteers that came out to help. And the Bay St. Lawrence will be doing theirs this week, so please keep an eye on their Facebook page for date and time on that. That's it for me.
Thank you, Councillor Hennick. I won't go into, I was at the NSFM conference in Yarmouth. It was very informative, got to represent Victoria County, speaking to ministers, deputy ministers, etc. So the Honorable Scott Armstrong, the Minister of Department of Justice, I think is coming to Cape Breton Island later on in the summer, and hopefully we can get him to come to our council. We'll be looking into that. One thing I will mention, we got to experience firsthand the devastation of the fires, the trees going in. Kudos to those people who stayed there. It was quite scary looking. Councillor Hennick and MLA Diane Timmins and myself attended a Girl Guides, Sparks and Embers troop talk about municipal politics and our roles and what we did. Well, we got some interesting questions. do we get paid? Do we get to travel across Canada? It was quite entertaining. MLA Timmins took them all Nova Scotia pins and some flags. We met, like I said, we met with the local RCMP. They also want us to, I'm waiting for some information to send letters. They're looking that we should have a quiet room built in our hospital or at the detachment for patients that might try to harm themselves or just need a quiet space. So I'll be writing letters for that. I want to kudos to the heavy pickup. It was a success with just a few little hiccups. Please remember to pick up any debris that may have been left that have scattered. The community cleanup for the Neils Harbor, New Haven area for the Gordy Budge cleanup was postponed. It will be happening on May 23rd because of the weather, but I'd like to give a shout out to them because they always do a great job. And I'd like to give a personal shout out to Mr. Stuart Best, who picks up trash every day on his walks from his home to the North Bay Wharf and to the Broad Cove Campground. So thank you, Mr. Best. And that's it for me. So next council discussion is the Eros Maneras request support sponsorship. Or Matheson Lafort?
I can read it off.
Okay, please.
Everybody's quite familiar with Eros Namera now, so I don't think I have to go into a descriptor for that. But their latest request for support is twofold. They're looking for an endorsement to go to support their DCP application in their request for a maximum contribution of $7,500. So that's endorsement request number one. And number two, they're asking the county directly if they would consider a direct sponsorship for the 10th anniversary event that I discussed earlier in my district report. They're looking for a contribution in the range of $1,500 to $2,500. And they did note it would make quite a big difference. A lot of the local costs sit outside of their DCB claim for World Ocean Week, so including community logistics, volunteer support, food-related event costs, youth/event support, and the practical things that make a full week of programming work on the ground, because I know they have quite an extensive volunteer group that works on those. So that's two things. They're looking for endorsement to support their DCB application, and they're also looking for a direct county contribution ranging from $1,500 to $2,500.
Can I ask Alex, we usually do sponsor, isn't it? Do a sponsorship for them, for their festival?
I believe we have in the past.
Can we look into that and see what it is? And
Just a note on the
okay.
Just a note on the endorsement. So their application would have already been sent in. And so the way that it works is that there's an evaluation committee struck by Destination Cape Breton, and they would score the applications based on merit. And then we receive a it's similar to the grant process. We receive a recommendation, and then we just approve it or not approve it. So I'm not really sure an endorsement would do anything at this point.
So would that be fair, Councillor? We wait to see when we receive the, I don't know, application or whatever from.
Well, and to be clear, Bruce McNeil was like Central Cape Breton Community Ventures Incorporated. This was submitted on April 29th. So they thought it was going to be addressed in the 1st of May, but it hadn't been put through yet to be put on any schedule. So they didn't realize it wasn't going to be looked at until this time. So they recognized that it's already been, their application gone in, so.
Okay, and we will look into what we have given in the past for sponsorships. Is that okay?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay. Get back to us there. Okay, thank you. Nova Scotia Association of the Garden Club request for sponsorship.
This was just a phone call that had come into me requesting that I bring this information to council, which I did as part of your package. Basically, it's a garden association club, and one of the organizations called me and asked if council would be interested in support, considering that it's being held at a local hotel, and there's going to be lots of people coming through our area to attend this. That's all. I know all the information that you guys know based on what's in the package. So I'm not speaking on behalf of them. That's the history of it.
For clearing that up. Councillor Bourne?
I'm wondering if they could put in an application through Chris's department because it is an event and it's under $500. It might be worthy to.
They could.
Right, and that way it takes it away from us, and it's just they have that funding. So
Okay, we can push that off to Mr. Woodford's Councillor Hennick.
I'm just looking at the letter they sent, because it's happening June 5th to the 7th, which isn't not that far along. And if you scroll down a little further, there is the sponsorship benefits or whatever, right? And sponsors of 1,000 or more mentioned in all news release when possible. So because this letter is dated January 2026 that they sent in the letter, and we're only reading it now. So I'm just wondering. Oh, they didn't send it in January? No, because that's what's on the top of the heading, right? So I was kind of. Right, exactly. And it is the. Right, and it's happening between June 5th and the 7th. So that's my question there. If we pass it along, then is it going to be too late or whatnot? That's
Right.
all my question is.
And I mean, for the record, like Chris's funding is dependent on his priorities for his department. So he just passing it along doesn't necessarily mean it would be approved. He would still look at it and evaluate it just as he does every request that comes in.
Yeah, I remember they came to council a couple of years ago, so maybe we have how much we sponsor them. I remember that was with Pat. Was Pat McKenzie? Yeah.
Okay.
We have them before, if I can recall. So they're asking for $500 or $1,000. It's different ones. It's a donation, item, or advertising our program, or the sponsor support benefits with the logo, and it's 1,000 or more mentioned in the news release.
Yeah, so I think the minimum is the advertisement for 150, and
Yeah.
then I'm pretty sure they would take anything else after
course.
that. Yeah.
Maybe we can take $500 if the people council disagree.
Well, do you want to make a motion for
I
that?
will make a motion to give $500 for the sponsor of the Association of Gardens.
There's a motion on the floor. Do I have a seconder? Second, Councillor Donovan. Any discussion on this? Okay, all in favor? The motion is carried, $500 to the Garden Club. Okay, next is Courageous Champions request for sponsorship. I'm just trying to find it here, there. Everyone has read that letter? Councillor Bourne?
I would like to make a motion to sponsor the business card for $329 because this is the Atlantic part, so it's going to be through Atlantic Canada. So I think it'd be a good thing to sponsor. Thank you.
There's a motion on the floor. Do I have a seconder? Second by Councillor Matheson Lafort. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Motion is carried. So we will be taking the business card sponsorship for the Courageous Champions. Next is up is our CAO report.
So this has been shared in your package, but just some things with dates associated with them that I'll highlight. So we have the joint REMO position with the other municipalities. So we are taking the lead on the hiring for that. So it's advertised on our website and applications are to be sent through us. And that position is posted until May 29th. So if anyone is interested in applying, please get your application in by then. Councillor Bourne already mentioned this, but just as a reminder, on May 23rd, there's the shredding event happening here in Badek, at Badek Academy from 10 a.m. till 1 p.m. The first event that was held down north was not very well attended at all. So please encourage people that might be interested in this service to bring their shredding on the 23rd to Badek Academy. Another reminder, advanced polling dates are coming up. So the first one is happening Thursday, May 21st from 12 to 8. The next one is Tuesday, May 26th from 12 to 8. And then the election will be on Saturday, May 31st from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. And if you're not on the list, make sure you contact Steph as the returning officer. Just a reminder that we are on track to be sending out tax bills as of the early June. So those will be going out in the mail and we will be doing all kinds of communications related to that. And the last date is that, excuse me, as of May 1st, we open the second round of the Sustainable Tourism Growth Initiative. So we are accepting applications. You can find more information online and submissions are going to be accepted on that until May 31st. And that's all of the date highlights I have.
Something I was wondering when the beach stairs will be put in to the Neils Harbor Beach. Can you put that on the list, please? Thank you. By-election progress report, Ms. McLeod.
Sorry,
Councillor Bourne.
Sorry, I didn't
was
have a
reading.
comment with the CAO report.
Okay,
And it was
go ahead.
more or less more of a comment because I'm glad Dan mentioned it, because I had it highlighted with the safety risk and the concern that took place at the waste management facility driveway. Because I was going to ask for an update on that, but Dan came in to share that. So that was a concern for me when I seen that, but I'm glad he addressed it. Thank you.
Councillor, go ahead, Ms. McLeod.
So I'll start off with a slight correction, acting CAO, if you don't mind. The window has closed for myself to add you to the electors list. You have to come in now and add your request to add yourself with a form. So just be prepared with identification, phone bills, electrical bills for proof of residency.
I didn't write down and just thought I'd throw that in there. So sorry.
It's still good information, but the window is closed for me to take requests for that. That needs to happen now at the poll. So with that, so I just wanted to, as part of the by-election process, I said in an prior information report that I would update council of any progress. So this is the purpose of this. So you know, the municipality is currently undertaking the by-election process for the vacant council position for District 3. Nominations have closed and there are 2 candidates officially running in the by-election. So it's great. We have an election. No offense, Tim. The current status, election preparations and voter communications have been ongoing. Information regarding the by-election, including key dates and voting information, has been shared regularly through the municipality's communications channels, and notices have been posted in the Cape Breton Post and Victoria Reporter. Just like to take a moment to really thank our communications department on this. Ursula has been working diligently with me to make sure we are advertising in the appropriate timeframes that we are supposed to. So thanks to Ursula and Jessica for their support. In addition, informational flyers were mailed to voters to help ensure residents are aware of the by-election, voting process, and voting location. The returning officer, myself, continues preparations to ensure voting opportunities are accessible and that the by-election is conducted in accordance with applicable legislation and procedures. So that has been my priority for the last month, and it will continue to be my priority until May 30th, until Election Day. So when it comes time for motions, I just would recommend that council accept this briefing report as part of the by-election process. Any questions?
Any questions for being none? Okay, thank you. Okay, for motions, the first reading of the wastewater charges and rates bylaw. I need a motion for to go to the first reading. Right? Yeah, can I get a motion to go for the first reading of the wastewater charges and rates bylaw? It's moved by Councillor Donovan, second by Councillor Hennick. All in favor? Motion is carried. Also, I need a motion to accept the recommendation for May 4th, the in-camera session. Can I get a motion for that, please? It's moved by Councillor Bourne, second. Can I get a seconder, please? By Councillor Matheson-Fort. All in favor? Motion is carried. Can I also get a motion to accept the recommendations from the May 4th Finance and Audit Committee? Oh, one question. Go ahead.
I just want to publicly state that correction to that recommendation because it will be in the minutes from that meeting. So I had listed that the commercial tax rate would be $2.006 per $100 of assessment. That was not correct. I did bad math. So the correction is in that recommendation and nothing else changes. It is literally just a typo with the math error. The commercial tax rate will be $1.976 per 100 of assessment. So that is what I am recommending.
Thank you for clearing that up. Can I get a motion? It's moved by Councillor Bourne. Can I get a seconder, please? Second by Councillor Donovan. All in favor? Your motion is carried. The municipal grants, we're not doing that. Right. Can I get a motion? Councillor Hennick. Can I get a motion for the by-election progress report? It's moved by Councillor Matheson-Lafort. Can I get a seconder? Second by Councillor Bourne. All in favor? Motion is carried. The rink demo tipping fees. Can I get a motion to approve this item? It's moved by Councillor Donovan, second by Councillor Bourne. Any discussion or, okay. All in favor? The motion is carried. Wow. Do we have any committee reports? You have a question. Go ahead, Deputy Warden.
About the recommendations for COW, I think they're missing a recommendation for search and rescue. We have one and a letter. We were talking about a letter of support for Public Works to help us to for the 100th anniversary of the Cabot Trail to go the letter for the province to send to the province for payment for the budget support. We were talking about that. So we just.
But the search and rescue one, yes,
Do we need a motion for that?
I think we do, yes, because we said we were giving money to the search and it's the, is it called the Shetty Camp District?
Search and rescue operation.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah, I can make the motion
Yeah,
for the
go ahead.
recommendation from COW about, well, I was the chair, I don't know. if
No,
you can-
I'll do it then. Can I get a motion to send the funds that was recommended in COW to the search and rescue?
I will move to approve the recommendations in Cal.
Okay, thank you, Counselor Bourne. Can I get a seconder there? Counselor Hennick. All in favor? The motion is carried.
It's just that too, right?
Yeah, and the letter is written,
else?
and I will be signing that later today.
Thanks.
Anything else there, Deputy Warden?
No, just I want to make sure.
Okay, we were busy. Committee reports. Any?
Just to let you know, we have a meeting at 1 o'clock for BCT. It's going to be a short one, but
Yep.
in the boardroom. Thanks.
Thank you for that. And there's correspondence. Eastern District Planning Commission Coastal Support Program. Just, if you get that up there, of course, you've read all your correspondence.
I have a question.
You go ahead, Deputy Warden.
Just for the Better Public Library Society, they're asking for a recollection letter of support. Do we need to do something there? Just make a motion for a letter?
In that one up here too.
Okay.
That is my understanding that they're
Yep.
looking for a letter from council to support the potential move.
Okay.
Do
Do I want to make the motion?
Yeah,
to
you can make a
letter
motion.
Motion for the letter of support of relocalization letter for Better Public Library Society to move the rink.
Okay, we have a motion on the floor. Do we have a seconder? We have no seconder? Okay,
Can we have
What?
discussion?
Tim, are you, sorry, Counselor Donovan, are you seconding it or sucking? Oh my God, he can't even speak now. Or you? If you want to second it, then we can do a discussion on it, Counselor. Okay, it's second by Counselor Donovan. We have a discussion. Counselor Matheson Lafort.
Just have a few questions, but I don't know if anyone can answer them. I was wondering if has the regional library board endorsed this? Because my understanding is that a library society does not control staffing models, service delivery standards, collection management, capital planning with a regional library system. So I'm not comfortable with endorsing something if the regional library board hasn't endorsed it.
Thank you, Counselor. Anyone else have any discussion?
I
Councilor
agree
Moore?
with Councillor Matheson Lafort that I would like to see something from the library first. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. So we do have a motion on the floor and we have a seconder. All in favor?
Can I say
Oh,
something? now?
yes, go ahead.
Can we ask to the Library Society to come?
Hmm?
The Better Public Library Society to come to council and
Do you want them to come to council or COW?
okay, whatever. Yeah.
Well, we'll check with availability.
And
there.
that way they can put her case on, right?
Mhm.
Plus council.
We can do it in council if they want.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to take the vote, right? Or do you want to withdraw your
I withdraw
motion?
that. It's just when the discussion, what the
Okay,
council
you're going to
wanted
wistdraw that motion and
and
ask
just
them to come to
ask to
council.
come to council. Yeah.
Okay,
And that way we can put it in the table.
good.
Thanks.
Thank you. We have any questions from the public? Don't all rush the mic at once. Anything online? Okay, being none, we are going to go into camera. Thank you. Can I get a motion to accept the recommendation that was discussed in camera, please? It's moved by Councillor Matheson Fort. Can I get a seconder? Second by Councillor Bourne. All in favor? The motion is carried. Also, I'd like to make a request that the letter from MLA Diane Timmons about the Celtic Lodge be put as part of our council package. Being no further business, Councillor Matheson Fort, LaFort, just under the wire there.
No. I did need clarification on something. I did have a community member request an anniversary letter from the county for a 50th. That's happening and they would like a certificate by June 13th. But how did we decide on that? Who will be signing off on who will be writing these things? I can't remember. Actually, they just wanted some form of acknowledgement. I wanted to ask you as well of what is. Okay. Yeah, if you want to. Okay, perfect. And does it have to be something by anybody, just me? Okay, that's fine. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
Clear?
Thank you, Warden. Yes.
okay. Being no further business, I'm going to call this meeting adjourned. Thank you, everyone.